Unfortunately, most cruisers miss the best parts of Belize City, but after today, you won't. I'm going to highlight the best ways to turn a short stop in Belize City into a meaningful experience. I'm showing you how to skip the tourist traps and find the real heart of the city. I'm making sure you enjoy a full day of culture, flavor, and lasting memories. And the last tip I'm going to share is the one that seasoned cruisers swear by and first-timers usually miss. So what's up with Belize City? Why do most people, I don't want to say not enjoy it, but why is it forgettable? Well, for one thing, it's a tender port. Okay. Tender ports, unfortunately, add a layer of confusion to particularly novice cruisers or unseasoned cruisers. Let's put it that way. Because you don't just walk down and walk off the ship. You've got to get in line. You got to go on to a smaller ship. And then, that smaller ship takes you to the port and reverse that on the way back. So it's confusing. It's extra, and a lot of people don't want to deal with it or don't know how to deal with it. And it adds to the time pressure, and it can deter some cruisers from venturing far from the port, particularly on their own. A lot of people will do the ship-sponsored excursions only at a tender port. That way they don't have to worry about whether they get back or not. That's on the excursion company. It's a shame because some cruisers avoid Belize due to misconceptions about safety and logistics. But some smart planning can reveal some pretty amazing experiences. As usual, tourist trap near the port. The port village loaded with high-priced trinkets, mediocre food. There's just so much better options once you get beyond it. So, like a lot of other Caribbean ports, Belize is best once you get out of the city. Think nature, culture, ruins, reef, beaches. It's absolutely amazing. First moves when you arrive. I want to say, be the first one off the ship. Unfortunately, not always an option, but do your best to get an early tender time. Depending upon what ship you're on and how they do it, get that ticket as early as you can. Do your best to get off as early as possible, because once they start tendering the ship excursion people off, you're looking at an hour to 2 hours before you can get off. Okay. And if that does happen, if you can't get off before that, you're going to have to adjust your plans for the day. If you can, if you plan ahead, pre-book your smaller, reputable local tour companies, you'll get a better value. It won't cost as much, and in my opinion, you'll have a better experience. Okay. Choose your adventure as early as possible. Belize is not one of those places, just wing it, because a lot of the top attractions, a lot of the things that you really want to see are 45 minutes to an hour away from the port. So this is one of those ports where you really want to plan this out in advance. You don't want to just, hop on the tender and see where it takes you, because all it's going to do is take you around that little port village. Again, cash is king. US dollars are accepted. Small bills, again, same reasons as pretty much every port guide I mentioned. So the top cultural and historical experiences that you want to check out. Altan Ha Mayan ruins. These are the closest major ruins to the port, and they're about an hour away. Easy to combine with a city tour or a wildlife stop. Old Belize Cultural and Historical Center. It's a fun and informative place. It's got a museum, a beach, a restaurant, and a giant water slide. Downtown Belize City, colonial era buildings, landmarks like St. John's Cathedral, the Swing Bridge, Belize Museum, which is small. It's often missed, but it gives you a meaningful insight into the Belizean history and the identity. Nature and wildlife excursions. The Belize Zoo, not a typical zoo. It houses rescued local animals in natural habitats. It's a great half-day option with some cultural value. You'll get to see the local animals as close to their natural habitat as possible. And you'll know that you're supporting a local organization that rescues animals. The Howler Monkey Sanctuary, also called the Community Baboon Sanctuary. It's unique, very low impact tour, local guide. You'll hear and likely see wild howler monkeys in the forest. You can do river tubing or cave tours, and you can combine them with zip line if you want to do a full day adventure. Popular, but worth it if you've never done that kind of thing. And if you've done any zip lining, you'll know a lot of times you get some amazing views while you're up there. Manatee watch or crocodile spotting. Some boat tours offer peaceful wildlife encounters just outside the city. Barrier Reef Adventures, snorkeling Hole Chan and Shark Ray Alley. World famous, but again, best done with a pre-booked tour. You might need to tender from another K. There's some variables here, so you want to set this up in advance. You don't want to just tender off the ship and say, hey, who wants to take me snorkeling at Shark Ray Alley? Okay. Goff's Cay, a day trip to Goff's Cay. It's a tiny island, got great snorkeling, and it's closer than Ambergris or Cay Caulker. Usually part of like a half a day tour. If you're a certified scuba diver, Belize is a diver's paradise. Most likely, if you're a certified diver, you already know about Belize. So if you are certified, the options are world class. Reef fishing or catamaran cruises, relaxed alternatives for non-snorkelers who still want some time on the water. Now, where to find authentic Belizean flavor? Try a fry jack breakfast if you're early. Fried dough served with beans, cheese, or jam. It's a local favorite. Cheap, and it's filling. Rice and beans with stewed chicken, the national dish. Available pretty much at every roadside stall, food court, or inland lunch spot. Marie Sharp's hot sauce. Ask for it everywhere. It's made locally, and it's beloved throughout the Caribbean. Local sodas or fresh juices. Look for lime juice, sour sop, or crush sodas in glass bottles. Best tip here, ask your tour guide where they eat and go there if you can, if you have the time. And the final tip that the seasoned cruisers swear by, don't try to do it all. Belize is rich in options, but everything takes time because it's a larger island and it takes time to get to the other side. So pick one top tier experience and make sure you do that one right. If you have time for one or two other secondary experiences on the way back, great. But make sure that you spend the time figuring out what that one thing is that you must do and do it. And then you'll have a great time. Book with local operators for smaller groups. You'll get a more personal experience with some, potentially a bonus cultural insight. If you get yourself a good tour guide, time your return carefully because remember, it's a tender port. So you can't, if all aboard time's 5 o'clock, you can't be rolling up at the pier at 4:30 thinking you're going to get back in time. Every tender port, in my opinion, is 90-minute minimum to make sure you're back on board. So if all aboard is 5 o'clock, you better be in line for that tender by 3:30. Otherwise, you could be risking things. Let's put it that way. The magic of Belize isn't how much you do; it's in how connected you feel when you do it right. Most cruisers miss that, but now you won't. And as they say in Belize, you better Belize it. Now that you know the insider tips for Belize City, you're going to need to know how to maximize your time in Georgetown. Because if you don't, you can end up missing some of the best experiences Grand Cayman has to offer. I'm going to show you how to avoid that in this video here.